Live. How you guys doing out there? It's Douglas Sam and DJ for another episode of the Mic Drop Club. Today I have Jonas Freud. Welcome back, Jonas. How you doing? You okay? Here we go. Jonas, how you doing? You all right?
Hi, I'm fine. Really looking forward for this
Beautiful.
today.
Very, very colorful jumper.
Yeah, it's my Spider-Man day today, so
Interesting. No, it's
yeah,
good.
I was at the game development company today. That's why I just want to blend in.
You know, today in the UK at least, it's been a rather glum day in terms of the royal family. You know, Prince Harry, the former Prince Harry as it were, and Meghan Markle, you know, they've officially now have no title. You know, they've separated themselves from carrying out any royal duties as such, and therefore they're not allowed to use any of the titles that they were affiliated with or associated with. So they're just Harry and Meghan, you know. And I was starting to think about the sacrifices that people have done in the past, present, as in Meghan and Harry, sacrifices that people have done to facilitate or to give their relationship the best start in life, you know, and what goes through their minds, and you know, and why is that even necessary? You know, from the royal perspective, you know, that you see a lot of the news anchors today. I'm telling the story, and there was a tinge you could detect. They were not approving of Meghan and Harry's situation. You know, certainly there was no footage I saw supporting the couple, as it were. It was like, it's almost as if the British media deems this as a slap in the face to the institution, which is the royal family, which to some degree you could understand that. But the operative word throughout all of this is family. That's the operative word. Whether you're a royal family or a peasant family, a normal family, you know, as such, with no responsibilities over state, you're still a family. And at its core, families have values, they have principles, they have beliefs. And when somebody comes in to join a family, whether you're male, female, whatever the dynamic is, anyone that's coming into the family is perceived as an outsider, even if you look the same, even if you're from the same country, same village even. And that's why they want to put you through certain tests to see if your value system supports them. And if they suss out that it doesn't, you know, they'll be looking to push you. Either directly or indirectly, you get this friction that occurs. And I've had it in my life before. And it's an interesting one to think about and appraise, because there's no right or wrong in terms of, nobody can foresee the relationship to Meghan and Harry further down the line. We know 1 in 2 relationships, technically speaking, that will fail. You know, so nobody has a good chance of success when it's almost 50%, whether you make it or you don't. Nowadays, when it comes to relationships, we don't hear a lot about the happiness of the couple. But when me and you talk about independent thinking, being able to process information and make the right decision based upon evidence, it's just one where I'm very keen to hear from your side. You know, the philosophy. What is actually happening at its core when these things happen, and what can we do? How do we challenge those things?
Thanks for asking. A really good question. I mean, for me, when you're talking about and Harry, Meghan and Harry, I just know that they are like royal before and they stepped down. And recently, like my wife, I think, told me they're getting the second kid, huh?
Yes, yes.
And it was like the story behind it was like one of her friends were Instagramming this moment about telling before themselves to let them. So I just started to think and feel how is it to be Harry and Meghan, and for me, I got the feeling like they are really authentic people, really true values. That's why I think and feel that's why they don't need the title on that one. So within that said, I think about my own philosophy about to be more honest to yourself, and like we talked about before, I embrace the sentence like "let it rain," and that's RAIN stands for is like R is recognition, and A is acceptance, and I is investigate like around that thoughts you have, and the fourth is like the non-identity about it. And what we are talking about before is like I am not my mind, my body, or my emotions. And when I clear that way of feeling and believing and to be, then it's like for me. So that's my take on that one, I think.
Sure, sure. No, that's great. And we're going to break that down again because I think you slipped it in there rather quietly. So what we need to do is ump the noise on that one because that is
Okay, guys,
something
everybody
that
ready?
needs to be broken down.
Atomic
When we talk
mic
about
drop.
making it rain, when we're talking about make it rain, Jonas, one more time, can you just break down the acronym again, please?
I mean, let it rain. For me, it's like so many things about it. I love when it's raining, the weather raining, but also like when I learn the English language as well now, I try to be more specific about the letters and the words and sentence and so on. So let it rain were like just a sentence for me in English, but when I start to think about it, it was just the letter R in rain. It was like recognize. So I really, really need to know what am I supposed to recognize and what do I want to recognize. So I really need to be present about that. So that's
Okay,
for the
cool.
R.
That's the R, yeah.
And
That's the recognize, yeah.
yeah, and
Making sure that you're present.
yeah, and the next thing is like in the spelling is the A. When you find out something, when you try to recognize, then it's like the most important word, acceptance, that I really use daily,
Yeah.
many times a day. And as longer you train to accept many things, then you don't need to use your energy on think and wandering around in English. I don't really know, but that's for me. Acceptance is really also a like really great word.
You know what acceptance
And
is? It is. It is. If we can just pause on the acceptance, because in no certain terms, so reaching acceptance is the final barrier that enables you to progress. It just so happens in the way you're breaking down, there's R.A.I.N for rain, then you're going to do the I&N. But acceptance in itself is such a fundamental thing, is what we're talking about here. Is now, do you accept the choice of your children when they want to choose their partners? Do you accept it? The more you don't accept it, you tend to find people on the other side who dig their heels in. The children dig their heels in, and do the opposite, just to prove a point that they are having freedom of expression, freedom of thought, freedom of feeling. And even if you tell them not to do something, the fact that the child would not accept it because it's coming from you, they haven't had direct experience of that thing that you're trying to protect them from, then the resistance comes. Then the child will have to learn through their own experience. So acceptance is fundamental. It is at the core of what we are seeing here played out in the media with Meghan, Harry, the royal family, and anybody that has an opinion regarding the royal family, what it stands for, and what it's going to stand for in the future. Because the monarchy is first and foremost a historical institution. All monarchies are. Their greatness comes from the past. And all what they do is to try to reinforce their relevance currently into current affairs, you see, to make them still have a role. But everything, all the great stuff is the past. That's how the monarchs were all formed, from crusades, warfare in the past. But now they're beacons for other things, a reminder of a country's greatness. They're a reminder of a time far gone. But the media wants to ensure that they have longevity into the future by reminding people of the past. And that's why the young royals, Harry and William, the pressure on them, Diana's children, the late Princess Diana's children, the pressure on them to carry on the legacy of the monarchy was so big on their shoulders, because that's why they had to be hip, they had to be cool, they had to be engaging, they had to be relevant to the younger generation to carry on the legacy of the monarchy. So acceptance, when you said that, hairs came on my arms, because I knew in that one word carries the embryo, the seed of most problems in households, most problems in relationships, most problems around the world, is we are not willing to accept. When you do the MindKicker.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and just about short about that, a lot of my surroundings has always been talking about, like, I can respect you, or I can respect it, because they don't want to let it accept. So I mean, for me, it's the way of living is to accept, to find your way to accept, instead of just stop at respect. I mean, you should have respect in many cases, but when you dig deeper, the acceptance is the key.
Yeah, absolutely. The acceptance is the key on that one. And there's a whole range of emotions that we must overcome. And I assure you, we will get back to the let it rain, because we're just stuck on A at the moment. But we are rested on A because it's such a powerful thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So after acceptance, I mean, you need to investigate your state, mental state, emotional state. That's the next key about this let it rain, to just get the flow, just to pour all the rain over you, all rain around you. It's like you need to investigate like your emotional state and mental state, because
Absolutely.
you are still not your body, you're not your mind, you are not your emotion. That's why you need to investigate, is that emotion true, or should I choose that emotion, or should I be still in this mental state? So it's like many questions about that, but many people might jump by. So I really love to stay in that stage for like reflecting time, and sometimes like days, because I think that's one of my keys when you want to live fully. You stay there, be safe and calm, to just not run faster. So
Absolutely.
investigate why.
Absolutely. So it's a mindset
And
thing. It's a
yeah,
mindset thing
exactly.
because for you to
It's a lot of
investigate,
things, but
yeah, sorry, it's our line. We're over the top of each other, so I apologize for that. The time is a bit off, but what I wanted to say is to support you on that investigation. You need, I guess, to have the attributes, the qualities of a detective. You know, a detective doesn't make assumptions about why somebody was killed, hurt, why money was stolen. They don't really make too many assumptions. They look for evidence, yeah, actual evidence to support their assumptions, yeah. And if their assumptions prove wrong, they are very quick to change tact. You see it all the time in murder mystery programs. The detective and you're led down this path even, and you think, oh, it's that person, that person looks dodgy. They're the ones that committed the crime. But as you follow the narrative with the detective, you see how they piece together clues, and it turns out to be somebody completely different. And I think we can learn a lot about the mind of somebody that wants to investigate, because they just don't just take a situation for what it is. And again, this is where your letters, the way you broke down letters, comes in handy, because in terms of recognizing the recognition of something is you have to acknowledge something to recognize that it's there. You know, so you acknowledge it, you recognize it for what it is, not what it looks like, for what that situation is. And then don't be scared to be a hypocrite. I say this all the time to my children. If you think that somehow I'm scared of being called a hypocrite, you're wrong. I'm the biggest hypocrite going, because I will change my idea, I will change my view upon something if somebody gives me compelling evidence to make me change what I'm thinking about. But all too often, we, just like families, just like countries, make or formulate a culture that is never really investigated why we are doing such a thing. Because it started hundreds of years ago. And you're just doing this act because it was done before. But the real meaning behind the act now is gone. You're just doing it. There's so much formalities, that cultural things that we do within the Asian, the African, the European, cultures, that over time becomes more ritualistic behavior. And you're just like driving, when you first start, you're consciously incompetent of driving. When you get in the car seat, if you never had a driving lesson before, you will not know how to drive. There's nothing you can get over. There's nobody that started driving based upon dreaming about driving and got in the car and started driving immediately. You are consciously incompetent at driving a vehicle until you learn the mechanics: accelerator, brake, clutch, steering wheel, all of that. Then you get to the point whereby when you're consciously awake, you can drive the car. And then you can actually start dreaming that you're driving. Because even in your unconscious state, your muscle memory is connected to driving the car. You're all one. And I think that whole process of being able to accept that, first of all, when you investigate something, a cultural belief, there is a period of time whereby they're just doing it now without thinking. Like I drive sometimes pre-COVID, and sometimes I forget I'm driving. I'm like, wow, they're like, wow, I'm driving. How did I get here? Sometimes I really think, I look around, how did I get here?
Yeah.
You know,
Fantastic.
because I've just been, you know, the things are doing things, and I'm keeping myself safe, keeping distance, everything. But I've got no real true conscious awareness of that. That's what I'm doing. And a lot of cultural beliefs, systems are set like that. No more than the royal family, royalty. They have procedures, protocols of behaviors that they have to do just to be. And you mentioned something very poignant to me. And you said something about titles. Do you remember? The titles, but at the beginning of the conversation, I wrote it down. Interesting enough, the statement that they were talking about, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, they released a statement to demonstrate, to explain how they felt, and you know, after the Queen put out her statement in terms of like, you know, we love you, but you got no more role. You cannot pick and choose. You got no more role. Yeah. So they put out their own statement. And in their statement, they're talking about titles, you know, and the ability to serve. Everybody should serve. They will still honor I'm paraphrasing now, they'll still honor all their commitments, irrespective of whether you put a title before their name.
Yeah, about titles, it's like when I grew up here in Sweden, and when I was traveling around the world in the 90s, everybody, like when I ask them, who are you, when I met you, I ask who you are, and everybody answered by title. I am the CEO. I am the farmer. I am the title. And then I was like, I growed up without title, and for me the person was the most important. That made me interesting in the person, not the title, because that's what they do, not who they are. So I've been skipping that, and when I started my own company, everybody asked me, oh, are you the CEO, and so on, and I said, no, I'm still me. That's my company's name is MindKicker, but when they ask who I am, I answer them truly. But then they don't, mostly time, if they don't know me, they don't understand what I'm talking about. Then they need to add the next question, what are you doing, Jonas? And then, yeah, I can tell you what I'm doing also. So
Yeah.
the word's meaning in Swedish means a lot. And same when I now start to train and practice my English, is really interesting how you can use word and divide words and so on, like we talked about before. So I'm really interested in, like, to learn the English language is like not knowing attitude, and you are a great helper on that one, because I learned so much about that. But I really love this situation, like not knowing attitude, to be that state and just try as good as I can, and hopefully I'm getting better and so on. So that's what I think about the world needs more, not knowing attitude, to relearn, reskill, and so on, like we said. So not fixed by I am my emotions, I am my body, and I am my mind. No, you're not. And
Sure.
that's like dot.
Yeah, absolutely. 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 And you have to continue. Don't pause. You need to go
Yeah,
to N, the letter
no,
N.
yeah. So N is like the non-identity state. Like when you said like when you can train on that state, when you train non-identity, because it's when I was young, everybody says and judged me by how I looked and how I moved and how I did on in the school and so on. Everything in the sports, everybody judging from their perspective. But still, I was safe once again, like because I knew that I am not my body, I am not my mind, and I am not my emotions. And that's a really important perspective and knowledge as a kid, youth, adult, growing up, to
Abs-
separate the two things.
Yes. So
So
at an individual level, that all those things that we talk about hold so true. You know, we've got the N there, yeah, yeah, and not knowing is brilliant. You know, it's I guess the attitude that drives the not knowing, because all too often people have an opinion about anything. You know, even things that they don't know about, they have an opinion, and this, although the theme around this is let it rain, and it's so funny that a monarchy is all about the reign of either the king or the queen. They reign. Yeah, that's the term they have in that role. It's the reign.
yeah,
That's a
and
period.
it's
Yeah,
going down
right. Yeah.
from up
So
to down. Yeah.
yeah. That's the reign of the monarchy. How long has the monarchy been going for? How long have they been established and been having a influential role? So what I want to talk about here is individually. This is about us being able to accept and approach things from not knowing perspective. That way we can be that detective, ask the right questions. Because you ask the right questions, you can get better answers. You know, I discovered quite a while back, if I was to ask my youngest, who has just eaten at 2 o'clock in the morning ice cream out the fridge, if I was to ask her a direct question, like, why did you do that? I will get all the emotions come out. I didn't have enough food at supper time. I was hungry. You never give me ice cream, blah, 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 and all this stuff that the emotions come out and just floodgates. If I just say what happened, just tell me what happened. I woke up at 1 o'clock, felt hungry, walked down the stairs, opened the fridge, took out the ice cream, consumed the ice cream, didn't wash up after myself, okay? Pretended that, put the ice cream back in the fridge when the box was empty because you finished all of it, put it back and went to sleep. That's actually what happened. Then when you got that level of facts, you can then build on the emotions that were happening. So when you decided to finish the ice cream, you didn't consider throwing it away in the box for recycling. You didn't think of washing it out the box and then put it in the recycling bin. No, you decided to mask your activities by putting it straight back in the freezer. And the conversation goes a different direction. So what I'm trying to really instill is the not knowing. As long as your mind is geared to be that investigator, that detective, you got to ask the right questions about any situation. We shouldn't be so judgmental, because the royal family, and I'll keep bringing it back today. Today's the royal family day. The royal family set, to a large degree, our mannerisms in Great Britain. They're set by the Queen. They're set how we're supposed to, Queen's English, how you're supposed to do things. This comes from the monarchy. So if they are unable to manage relationships within their own core, what more for their own citizens? You know, forget Meghan and Harry, you had issues with Diana as well. You know, there's always issues. And that also reflects how normal the royal family is. Because just like any family structure, we have our own ways of doing things. And I think there he is. I think we lost you there for a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah? Yeah, it was an internet thing.
I'm back.
Yeah. My point is, if we let people present their best side and even the worst side, and you're not so judgmental, you can move on, because all cultures, the royal family has a culture, all families have a culture, evolve. If you were really to be objective, you can take a look at even what's in your pot for dinner that you made early on today. You might find there's some ingredients in there that come from a far distant country that someone has introduced you to, and you like those flavors. Whether you're British and you're cooking a curry, or whether you're Asian and you're cooking an African meal, whatever. There are things that we take and bring into our family structure, and it becomes our new culture. Like Friday's takeaway day. We used to have a curry every Friday. You know?
Yeah.
Where is that coming from? It's coming from the fact that we're engaging, we're connecting with different cultures. And all of us, fundamentally, we are, and factually, we're all citizens of planet Earth. That's just an undeniable fact. Everyone on this planet is on the same planet and is from this planet and will go back to the planet when they finish. So what we do here is very much determined by our things that sometimes are beyond our own control. Like, I did nothing to control being this race, being perceived to be black. You know, that's the race I've been given a social construct to call people black, white. These categories that when you have to put down on the job application form, you have to look and see, okay, what category do I fall under? What am I? Okay, according to this, I am this and I'm that. You know, I am who I am. I am just me. Let me just be. You know, judge me for what I say or do, my actions. Don't make a prejudgment on things I have no control over, did nothing for. Or don't hold somebody into higher esteem based upon things that they have no control over. Harry didn't choose to be born a prince, 8th or 6th in line to the throne. He didn't choose any of those things. You know, what he does now with his wife is more important. And what they're saying in that statement that declares that titles really mean nothing. That's what they're basically saying. Titles mean nothing. They are still going to honor all their commitments. And it's your duty to do such a thing. It's every human being's duty to make it rain. So in making it rain, we're all kings. We're all queens.
Yeah.
We're all royalty. Aren't we? We're born. Yeah? We're at the top of the food chain.
Yes, we are.
Make it rain.
But if I could do the mic drop, I would give the mic drop to you.
Okay, guys, everybody ready?
Mic drop.
Yeah. We're making it rain because we're kings. We're royalty here. All of us. Every single one of us.
Yeah. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was one of my trainers, sensei, who taught me on that one. But it goes along with that. But it's like you said, if you're prepared that everybody will judge you or have another perspective than you, if you're prepared from young age, I know like people will do like Harry and Meghan and just remove that title, because title doesn't mean anything. You
Absolutely.
are the meaning.
Yeah. Yeah. We give meaning to anything. Look at brands. Before Coca-Cola, what did Coca-Cola mean? Nothing. You give it a meaning. It's now you associate it with a taste, with a drink that's almost black in color, with a bottle, with Father Christmas, with joy, with energy, Mercedes Benz. It's a person's name. He gives it meaning to now synonymous with a luxury vehicle. If me and Jonas were to make up a word now, right now, yeah, like
Yeah.
blubber splat. What the hell is a blubber splat? I tell you what a blubber splat is. A blubber
Yeah,
splat
let me know.
is somebody that pretends to know something but knows nothing about it and spreads that misinformation all around the world. That's a blabber splat. And blabber splatting is the verb. So that's the doing. When you're actually doing it, you're blabber splatting. So
Yeah.
we just made up
Okay.
a word and we're just giving it meaning now. If everybody uses it and becomes common, that's how things evolve, isn't it?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I know. And that's what's all about. Like, if one start doing it, like, I mean, I don't know in UK what, but in Sweden about the pandemic, one person started to buy every toilet paper in the store, and everybody else was following. So, and we didn't think or stop or anything. No, we just do what other people do. And no, it was so irrational. So it's like they bought very like tin cans of food, and so they thinking it's like World War III or something to just get down to the basement. As long as I have toilet paper and cans at home, I will survive
Absolutely.
the
Yeah.
corona.
Yeah, exactly. We tend to follow the herd. That's herd
Yeah.
mentality,
So
yeah?
really, just try to not knowing attitude about your behaviors, your old habits, your habits that you like or doing every day. I really encourage my friends, my clients to just try to reevaluate or try to just be not knowing attitude for just trying and see if new feelings or new thoughts or new things coming up, just to be that, because just you need to break that habit, even if it's a good habit, used to be or it is still. But time is changing, life is changing, so you can't be static on that habit, for me, what I mean. So I really want them to like pick up like 10 habits and then just prioritize and see what's happening with the habits if you try to be like not knowing or just non-identity on that habit. It's really change maker for a lot of people. And they said, yeah, nobody taught me that. Nobody has told me that. Nobody like insisted to do that. As long as it's a good habit. Yeah, but for who is it good? So that's what I try to just encourage people to just try. Many people thanks me afterwards because they leveled up their life quality and so on.
Absolutely, absolutely. I can't agree even more to what you're saying there, because at an individual level, That's where you have to start looking at things. Don't focus on changing the world. Start by changing yourself, and that will give you confidence no matter what environment you're in, whether you're in the midst of royalty or whether you're dating outside of your clan or whether or not you're in your clan but have different opposing beliefs. You have confidence in your own values and principles because they're tested. You know, the stuff that I was taught by my parents, some of the stuff, which is only a few, because my parents were very, very focused and groundbreaking in terms of their philosophies and stuff they instilled in me. But some habits, some things I was told I don't do because I have reviewed it based upon my understanding of the world. And I say, okay, I don't have to do that habit. I'll give you an example of that. Talking about rituals. If I go to church, and I sometimes go to church, I was raised a Christian, I don't have to go up and receive the blood of Christ or the bread as to be the embodiment of the body of Christ. I don't have to do that because I recognize that's a ritual that is supposed to remind us of the sacrifice Jesus made for Christians. So if I understand and I've not forgotten the sacrifice that Jesus Christ had made for humanity, do I have to eat this pretend bread? Do I have to drink this pretend wine? I don't have to, because these are not the actual body. This is not the actual, they're symbols. They are labels. They are titles. They're not the essence of what we're talking about. Once you understand the essence, you don't have to do the ritual. Like, I respect you whether or not you are Sir. And 2 weeks ago, we done a program on the late, great Captain Sir Tom Moore.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
And we were trying to work out his titles. He was Captain, and he was also knighted, so he was also a Sir. So it's Captain Sir Tom Moore. Captain Sir Tom Moore. But Tom Moore is greater than any Sir. Tom Moore is greater than any captain. These are titles he was given. You know, so I don't want to fixate myself on ritualistic type behaviors. The royal family or any family, they have their own reputation to uphold. You know, you would have thought that monarchies travel. The Queen goes, I don't know, if her passport, when we were younger, we used to collect stamps on passports. Now passports are half digitized. You've got no stamps on your passport, so you can't really show somebody where you traveled. But if the Queen had a passport, she probably doesn't carry one, she would have stamps on literally every country on the globe, particularly all the Commonwealth. But what is the mindset when she's seeing these people from different countries? Is she viewing them as equals, or is she viewing them as below her station? You know, that's a very important one, because sometimes we might think that people who are worldly, who have traveled, it doesn't remove your bias. It doesn't make you objective just because you've traveled. What makes you objective is the fact that you're willing to challenge your beliefs. You're willing to question your teachings, because if your teachings are true and they're just, they will stand up no matter who applies them. No matter who applies them, such as the principle of hard work pays. I think most people realize if you work hard, that should pay off for something. You become better at something. The act of repetition, dedicated to craft, you become better, correct? Irrespective of your race, irrespective of your gender. We all can agree upon that. But too many things that we are discussing tend to be things that we have no control over and only works for one particular group. You know, it only works for one particular person at one particular time. You know, so before I close, my closing one would be this. Families who are making it rain don't get destroyed by any outsider joining the family. Any family that's destroyed is by outsider coming in. It's only that way because they're exposing what is already in your family. You see? They're just exposing what's already inside your family. You know, if your family are adopting all these principles that we talk about, you know, they got recognition, you know, the acceptance, you know, the investigatory mindset, yeah, the not knowing attitude, there's no problem. Everybody can connect based upon human to human interaction. Most species recognize those mechanics in communication. Only human beings pretend to say, but you don't look like me. You don't smell like me. You eat something different from me and all that kind of stuff. You understand? So families are only destroyed, yeah, not from external factors coming in. They're just exposing that which is already in your family. You know, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. You know, so I don't blame any family. I'm putting that out there to any family issue. Meghan and Harry just brings to the fore because it's on the news, and we like to keep our conversations to the audience current, so you can apply some of these teachings to real life situations and let it anchor in your brain, so you can remember it. Okay, so that's my closing remark. Jonas, is over to you to close the show.
No, I mean, I wrote down, like in English, school teaches you lessons, then gives you a test, life gives you a test, which teaches you a lesson.
Yeah.
That's my closing of today's talk.
Fantastic.
Let it rain.
Let it rain. We are all kings and queens. Let it rain, guys. Let it rain. Be safe out there. We'll catch you next week.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to check out micdropclub.com and get the show notes and useful links. Subscribe to the podcast. Don't just live life. Make life boom.